some passion. Rubber band and the money that keeps stacking. Got a honey who come with elite fashion. She too fine, I tell her that thing magic. You ain't a hustler, you broke, well that seems tragic. Gotta catch in the field like deep passes. I tell her plug if it's sticky, then please bag it. I need the best cause I grew up beneath madness. Need a matte burgundy mercy. Jewelry so heavy it might hurt me. Smoking extra kill, that extra seal. Whoa. Buffalo money need extra bills. Till I'm eating so much I got a breakfast deal. I put moms on vacay with Bob Marley State. Racing all the homies in that Audi R8 place. Got an out of state name. Going hard to my tours is foreign. Like
what, man? It is Bills football week officially. And I got my guy over here. Hey, what we call you now?
They say it's all bro Poe.
All bro Poe. I knew what it was. I just want to hear you say it. You gotta embrace your nickname, bro. Because
the best nicknames you don't say yourself, they say it for you. So
dog, that nickname that's a worthy nickname, bro. That is a worthy nickname. So how you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I moved into the new digs. I need to get some stuff set up on the wall or something, but I'm good.
You think? Hey, you ain't even got no furniture in there.
I just got here. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like,
man, look at the dedication, man. You just get the new digs, right? And then you set up your stuff. You set up your pod stuff first of everything.
That's the PC setup is most important. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's some dedication. Although I do got a bone to pick with you though.
What?
I ain't got no invite for no Madden, bro.
Bro, we can get on the Madden.
I ain't got no invite.
We can get on the
all
Madden,
that talking. That man's be doing all that talking.
I haven't even. I'll buy the game and I'll play you the first game I play it, and I'll beat you 30-17. Easy peasy.
You only giving me 17?
I'm giving you 17.
Dog,
easy.
I don't know. You don't know who you talking to, bro.
I'm
a beast over here, cat. Young buck. I got it like that. All right, well, hey, just for the folks at home, this show is brought to you by the Jordan Poyer Foundation. The Jordan Poyer Foundation has linked up with the Chop Up this season, and so we want to congratulate and thank Jordan and his foundation for all his work that they do, and it's just really cool, man, to be a part of that. So again,
the merch is going to be dropping soon. The true 2023-2024 merch is going to be dropping soon, so keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be some nice stuff. Some collabs with Micah Hyde's already went out. So
okay,
yeah, some running back merch with Micah Hyde's already went out, but yeah.
So you gonna give me some screenshots so we can put them up there at some point? Or
yeah,
what,
when we make the drop, it'll be on here for sure.
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Yep.
Exclusive, baby. All right, so man, like the whole off season, everything has kind of been pointing to this moment in time. Like we ain't got no more off weeks. I mean, we have one bye week coming up at some point, right? But like there is a Buffalo Bills game during the week at some point every single week, besides the bye week.
Yeah,
and that to me is exciting, bro. Like for the first time today, you starting seeing game previews and people starting to talk about who's going to win between the Bills and the Jets. And the NFL schedule makers decided to put this game, the last one being played on Monday Night Football, against the Bills and the Jets, man. Look, here we go. Look. See, what he got to be a hater.
To be fair, like all I hear was the music. You started talking, so the music was going, but it's all good. It's all good.
You see, that's when you know you got a true friend right there. He's like, to be fair, like this is exactly what happened, people. Yeah, no, I'll definitely we'll get there. We're still preseason, even though it's the regular season now. By next week it'll be on, bruh. I have it together.
6 days.
It's gonna be a long 6 days.
Well,
man.
I guess 5 and a quarter.
Yeah, if you want to, count down like that. I mean,
yeah, 5 and a quarter.
You setting yourself up for failure if you do it like that.
Nah, I've been not talking about the Jets. I've been biding my time, not really wanting to have a conversation about the first game. You know what I mean? Because this week is going to be a lot of shit talking, a lot of talk. You know what I mean? I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. It's been like everything's leading up to it. I'm tired of hearing about the Jets. Like they've been killing the media all off season. It's all been about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers and what his toenails look like. And
rightfully so. That's my dog. Aaron Rodgers is elite. But,
he's good, but I can care less about his ponytail, who he's dating. Like I don't care. I don't care one bit. You know,
they be
I'm
talking
sick and
about
tired of the Jets.
who Josh Allen dating too. I'm sure people are tired of hearing about Josh Allen.
Bro, you think I care about who Josh Allen dating?
Maybe not you, but fans out there.
Bro, listen, if it ain't benefiting me in any kind of way like that, I ain't trying to hear. I don't care. Like, and I'm sure the players don't. I mean, I don't know. Like, just my speculation, but they probably don't care.
They definitely don't care as long as it's like positive. So, like, what you don't want is him to have a negative relationship that negatively impact the locker room. Which I'm from all I've heard, like Josh has been in great spirits, positive mood, probably better than as far as like attitude, better than he's been in years.
Let me ask you a question then. Do you think his relationship, not that you know, I mean, whatever, you think his relationship impacted his play last year?
That's an easy answer, because if you had a relationship that was ruining your time at home, would that ruin your work efforts and your?
It depends on what kind of person you are.
No matter who you are, even if you can put that aside and you can't go home and get peace, like that plays a part in your efforts at work.
I'll give you one name. Future. You think he cares?
He doesn't have a relationship. What do you mean? That has many relationships. That don't count.
Exactly. He don't care. So if you gonna act up at home,
no, that's different. He don't have relationships. I'm talking about if you have a relationship at home that's struggling, like that can absolutely play a part. Wives don't get enough credit for the peace that they create for their husbands, especially in this line of business.
Man, you know, for whatever it is, man, I hope he's better this year. Like I hope, he's happy in a relationship. It's beneficial to him in every kind of way where he could, everybody has a job to do, like you mentioned, like, whatever's going on in your house, it affects you. Like it'll rear its ugly head in your work environment or within your friendship. So
yeah,
all those guys, man, I wish all of them the best. Jordan the same way, man. I wish Jordan the best in whatever he's got going on this season. That, I just don't want anything that resembles last season.
It's like it was just a bad environment all around, and it wasn't all like they made the best of it, and they did what they could with the environment that they had, but like all around, from player to personal experiences, like it was just not an environment conducive to winning a championship. And so the best that you could do in the offseason is create an environment that's best for you. And a lot of the players have done that. Diggs got off his chest what he needed to. Now he's back focused. Like Josh got off his chest what he needed to, and he's back. Like that's well, if you got people that are on the right track personally, like it's going to play a part in your work experience.
Yeah, man. Like, did you hear Josh Allen today signed a deal with Gatorade?
I'm sure he's signing many deals.
Yeah, my man signing. He's signing.
Josh
Allen.
I've seen him on a bunch of commercials. Like.
Tostinos. That boy's on everything now. That's crazy. Like, because I was a Bills fan like since 1989. Like, I was 6 years old, dog. And I know you're like 12 now, but back in my day when we had color, black and white televisions, dog, being a Bills fan in 89, dude, it was just, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's different. It's a different light too. Like, it's a new social media, like
haters.
Spence, you old as dirt too. Stop playing. My boy.
He be over here sounding like somebody's uncle all the time, don't he?
All the time. Uncle Spence.
Hey, Wayne Bowen, he says I work a lot, but thanks. Great to hear your show. Thanks, fellas. Peace, man. Have a
Shout
great
out to
day at
you,
work,
Wayne.
Wayne. Yeah, shout out, bro. But you know what, man? It's good. What I was saying all that to say, like, it's really cool to like have a player that's nationally recognized. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
and
we
he's a
ain't,
good dude. Like you don't get many good dudes that are just good character. Like, and environment plays a factor.
yeah,
So like the environment of the Bills, I'm sure, has played a factor in like people growing up, especially if they came in here early. But like he's made some mistakes in his past, but he's a good overall dude. Pat Mahomes is another example of just a good dude. Like good dude's the face of the leagues. Like
yeah.
it's a good it's a good era that we're in as far as quarterbacks.
No, man. Every time I look at the Madden cover that I should be beating you in, that you scared to play.
I'll get it right after this, and you're not gonna be mad. I
You
swear.
know, I
Right
see
after this, I get
all
it.
I see is Josh Allen, bro. So you know, just get ready, okay? I'm just telling you right now. Just get ready for that beatdown. Speaking of beatdowns, though, you know who's about to take a L this week, dog? The damn Jets. The Jets are about to take an L. All right, and I'm gonna say it with my whole chest. Like, you know, it's one of them things. Like, I give respect to every team. Like, I'm gonna respect every team, right? Like, because these are NFL players. You know, these are the top 2-3% of athletes in the world. Like, you have all my respect, but I cannot stand the slander that Jets fans have been saying. The Jets and the Dolphins especially, bro. The stuff that they've been saying this offseason, dog, I can't live with it, man. I cannot live with it. So the Jets this week, bro, how are you feeling coming into this week, man? How are you feeling about the game? Like, what are your overarching thoughts?
First and foremost, Spence, you're not beating nobody in Madden. We know this.
That
Second,
boy, he ain't got it on the sticks, bro. You need to
second,
stop.
Daryl, you gonna let him call you? You let him call you old like that? Nursing home? That's crazy. But when it comes to the Jets, like, don't get me wrong. I think that they're one of the top. I think the Dolphins, the Jets, and us, that we're going to beat each other up this year in the AFC East, and it's going to be a good conference as far as football. And what the problem I have is like we take the lower percentage of dumb. And don't get me wrong, Bills have these fans as too that just say things like just say things to like they're a Jets fan and they're gonna say whatever it is to slander the team that they're playing against, whatever. And like we'll take those things and have those discussions here, but like it's just not smart. Most smart Dolphins fans know that this AFC East runs through the Bills, and you're gonna have to beat the Bills to get it. Most smart Jets fans know that this conference runs through the Bills, and it wasn't like that back in the when Patriots were running through it. Bills fans, there was 50% of Bills fans every year that come in. Oh, we're gonna take the AFC East. We're gonna take like
Right,
there's fans like that everywhere, and the honest truth is, until you knock us off as far as being the AFC East champions, we are the champions of the conference, and so you're gonna have to run through us. So our confidence is not misplaced. It's just that there's fans all over the place that overextend their thoughts of confidence of their team, and that's just how it is. Like there's some Jets fans that I've heard talk about like DJ Reed. We talked about this earlier. We're going to bring that up. He said that they were the new Legion of Boom, and like, bro, you guys have had one solid year playing defense. I don't
we're
want to
gonna
hear
get
that.
to that. We're gonna get to that.
I don't want to hear that. Like,
No, man. It's a great, you know what? We could talk about it now. It's a great segue. Like, I was gonna say this though. It's like we may know, like, okay, the Bills have been, you know, the AFC East champions for the last 3 years, but for some reason, the national media and the fans of those respective teams don't seem to have forgotten that. Like, let me tell you something, bro. So last week, one of them dudes from the Dolphins, one of their content creators, this is what he said. He was like, I just put this video together of all Josh Allen's interceptions. And then he's like, it's a long video. I'm like, boy, if you don't take that corny, boy, y'all made one playoff appearance since 2016. Stop it.
And lost to us.
And lost. You lost. You know what I'm saying?
Look, That's the whole thing, though. Like when you reach the top of any conference, the hot take is to give someone else, to have somebody else win it. Like the easy take is to say the Bills are going to win the conference again. The easy take. That's not where you get impressions. That's not where you get people watching your stuff. You get people watching your stuff when Floyd Mayweather is going up against somebody and you say the other guy's going to win. That's when you get your impressions. That's when you get your views. Like that's how media is. And I've come to know that like you try to create the narrative as much as possible. And then if you win, you could say it right. If you lose, you could say, well, they were supposed to win. Like that's just how this game works. And so we can say that the Super Bowl, all the injuries, Chris Jones not being there doesn't go through the Chiefs. We can say that. We can say all that. But at the end of the day, they're the Super Bowl champions and it goes through them. You know what I mean? Like
they earn that.
And I can sit here and have a hot take saying, well, the Chiefs not going to win because Travis Kelce's hurting now. And all of those takes could be fair. But at the end of the day, it goes through them. Somebody's going to have to beat them to become the Super Bowl champions. This is how it is.
Yeah. So, I'm just tired of hearing it. Now we get to like, and you know
play.
what? And you know what's crazy though? I mean, you know this because you live, your brother is a Buffalo Bill, but like all that stuff that happened in Cincinnati or, in Buffalo when they played Cincinnati, like these dudes remember that. And they're going to come out here and they done heard all the stuff Jets fans and media have been saying. They hear it. I know they like to say they block it all out, but that stuff trickles down to them, right? They use it as bulletin board material. They hear all that, and them boys gonna come out on Monday night and show out because it's like we still got something to prove. Like it's one thing to be the Jets, right? Like, get Aaron Rodgers. They feel good. They got Dalvin Cook. Like they got all kinds of names on the roster. I'm not saying they're not good. They are good, but they haven't proven anything. And I think that means something in the NFL. You actually have to prove something. They ain't done it yet.
Well, they also have something to prove. That's the difference between if you don't win the Super Bowl at the end of the year, you have something to prove. Like that's how it is. Whether it's we have to prove that we can restructure like the Houston, we can restructure our organization and get us back going again, or if it's the Bills, like we've been supposed to been in the Super Bowl at least for 3 years now, and we haven't made it. So like we have something to prove there. The Jets, they brought in all these players. They became a great team on paper. They got something to prove if they can actually put it together. Like every team has something to prove.
Sure.
Now it's just like going out there and executing it to the best of the ability. And like you can use the bulletin board material all you want, but at the end of the day, you got to go out and execute. And then after you win, you can bring up all the bulletin board material that you have stored in your head and talk that shit. You can do it. Like all it comes down to is win the game. Don't matter if you win by 3, don't matter if you win by 2, 1, 40. Like at the end of the day, you win the game, you get to talk your shit.
Well, we about to talk some shit. But before we even get into DJ Reed's comments, bro, because we about to dissect that. We gotta do our sponsor, bro, Picasso's Pizza. So right after the break, we'll get into DJ Reed's comments.
Hey, football fans, the season is here. So that means family, football, and food. But for the NFL's best fan base, it can't be just any food. Bills Mafia only eats the best during the season. And the best is Picasso's Pizza. With 4 great locations in Western New York, it's so easy to treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day. Picasso's. We are Buffalo Pizza, shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassospizza.net.
Hey, I got a bag on Spence real quick. You notice how he says food? Food. I hope you still watching. I'm a text food. Shut up. But Picasso's is legit though. Hey, when I get out there, we're gonna get some Picasso's. We're gonna get some Picasso's pizza.
I get the salad at Picasso's for sure.
Because you're on a diet.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm not.
I do want to remind people, like, if you're watching this, if you're listening, make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. I know that Spence has been getting on me about not saying that, so make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, make sure you visit our other our other platforms that we're on, and follow us and like and subscribe. We're on Twitch, I believe, as well.
Yep.
Apple, Spotify, we're on all that. So hit the like and subscribe for us and follow us. It doesn't cost nothing. Just help us out. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We about that. So DJ Reed, man. First of all, like the dude, he comes out and he's like, they're gonna be better than Legion of Boom, or they're gonna have this legendary defense, or better than the '85 Bears, or like just idiotic. First of all, like, I mean, first of all, okay, we're gonna talk about the Legion of Boom, like that secondary, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Byron Maxwell, Richard Sherman, them dudes was nasty, filthy good. How do them comments hit you, man? Because like, what, like the Bill, like what, secondary, like the Bills got one of the best secondaries in the league.
The only thing I have a problem with is like, I don't have a problem with you saying whatever you need to say for the confidence wise. Like I even said after 2-3 years of Trey, Micah, and Jordan being together, like they're probably the best group since Legion of Boom, if not better. They've had the stats to prove it, the wins, they've locked down people. So DJ Reed can have that confidence in his team. That's fair. The amount of fans that truly believe it and that call people dumb for not believing it in that statement is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I sit here and say, DJ, like you've never made an All-Pro, you've never made a Pro Bowl. You have Sauce Gardner, who's made one Pro Bowl, All-Pro. He's a rookie. He's going to be great. And then you have safeties that I can't even say their name off the top of my head right now. And you're calling yourselves the Legion of Boom. And so like, I don't understand. I don't understand how fans can just be so like, this is my team. We're going to the next Legion of Boom. You're dumb for thinking otherwise. You don't know who DJ Reed is. You don't think he's established. Like he's had one great year and he's playing opposite of a really great corner. So they're a very solid cornerback duo. And you don't have safeties that have done anything. So like, I don't understand where fans get the audacity to claim that they're the best DBs since the Legion of Boom. I don't get that. And you've only done it 1 year. Like I didn't even say that about our defensive backfield until they've done it for 2-3 years. Like I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dude that last season he had 1 interception, 12 pass defense. And I'm not, poo-pooing on the homeboy, but like you a 5th-year pro out of Kansas State in 2018. Like no one knew your name. Like, and that's not even being funny. Like nobody even knew who you were. So like, where is all this coming from? Like I get, like you said, I get being confident, but like it's disrespectful to like teams secondaries who are doing and done it. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, like if you win, you can say like it's the Eli Apple narrative, right? Like if you win, you can say what you want, but if you lose, if you give up 25 and 3 touchdowns through the air,
facts,
you're going to get flamed. So I mean, you can, and then don't cry when you're getting flamed. I don't want to hear like if we throw for 3 tubs and we win this game and you get flamed, I don't want to hear, well, like you're mad about no, you put yourself out there for that. You put yourself out there for that. If we do that, you're going to get flamed. If you guys win, you can talk all the shit you want because that's what winning does. You win the game, you can talk whatever, you can say whatever you want. But like if you lose and you give up tubs and you don't get a pick or pass deflection or whatever, you're going to get flamed, and you just got to live with that. You put yourself out there for that. That's what happens. Eli Apple syndrome.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you had one good season, right? Okay, it's like, let's just compare the two. Would you rather have Christian Benford or DJ Reed? And the fact that we have to think about it tells you everything we need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about DJ Reed. I'm not saying he's trash, but it's not like
he's a good cornerback. He's a good.
He's a good cornerback.
He's a good cornerback, but like,
I think
somebody said today to me that he was top 5. Bro, give me a break. Top 5 in what? In second cornerbacks? I take that. I'll take that. But like, bro, top 5 in cornerbacks. He said, and I'm like, bro,
on X,
on X, on X. Bro, I couldn't believe what I saw. I'm top 5 in what?
Dang.
bro.
Top
And
5.
they have a solid cornerback duo. Like, I'm not trying to downplay their cornerback duo. They have a solid cornerback duo. But
Oh no, they do. They do.
that starts and ends with Sauce Gardner. Period.
Yeah.
That starts and ends with Sauce Gardner. And if Sauce Gardner gets torched one of these games, they lose. That's period. Because if he gets torched, and now the solid quarterback that day is DJ Reed, he's going to get picked on all damn day.
Wow. So PFF has him rated as a 72.5 overall grade.
I
Okay.
don't give a damn what PFF says.
No. But they I like to it helps what PFF does for me, it helps affirm what I see on film, or in terms of like I use it a lot for like offensive line grades. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they give a good kind of idea of what the offensive line is playing like.
Offensive line is a little bit different. They play a lot of snaps. Like the problem I see with it is it doesn't take into account extra, like it's just the play, what happened on the play, the result.
Mm-hmm.
So like it doesn't take into account like if you're injured that game, if you're playing a certain position where you're coming from too high, but you have to play your gap in the run game. So you're like, say you're a safety and you're coming from too high every play, and you have a run responsibility in the A gap. It doesn't take into account that you had to come from too high, play the A gap. Now you got to tackle for 7 yards. They got 7 yards in your gap. Like it doesn't account for certain things like that. It's a good statistician. Like
it's a good like starting point. You know what I'm saying? I don't put it as everything.
Game,
right.
If you don't watch the game and you don't have an eye, and then you go to PFF stats and try to give me PFF stats, I'm not hearing you.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like this is backed up by. I mean, I watch film and I geek out on that stuff. So. Yeah, sometimes it's helpful to use these as like bench points, right? Or to get you started in terms of like what to look for or how a player is performing. But this is a guy, like, he's got to worry about Gabe Davis. Like you're just, it's stupid.
A healthy Gabe Davis is
about it's stupid. Yeah, it's stupid to come out and say stuff like this. Like that, I get the confidence factor, but you're really gonna come out here and say this week?
Well, that's the thing. So like, if it works, if you play up to standard that you just set for yourself, then it's no harm, and you actually elevated because you called your shot. So like, that's where we're at as far as like social media and narratives. Like, if you call your shot and it hits, then now you've been elevated as far as like, well, he told us this was going to happen. So like your name is getting a little bit elevated. If you call your shot and you miss, it drags you for a while because people are going to, oh, well, you said you were going to do this. And like, this is what I mean by like, if you call your shot, you better not miss that move.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. So one of the things that I wanted us to take a look at tonight, I wanted to look at the Jets depth chart because I like looking at depth charts just because it gives us an overall view of what this team is going to look like. So those of you at home, you're not going to be able to see this, but I'll talk through it. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we got I want to focus on the defense side of the ball. You know what? Let's go on the offense side of the ball. Like we know Aaron Rodgers is that guy, right?
Solid.
Breece Hall, as of right now, on a Tuesday, he's listed as questionable. This is on ESPN's website. Dalvin Cook is the second running back. Wide receivers, they got Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, who's also questionable, Randall Cobb, who's old as Moses. And then notable is Mecole Hardman, who's a SOT player. Not really worried about him, although he has speed. At tight end, they got Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzomah. I do like CJ Uzomah. I like Jeremy Rucker 2 years ago at Ohio State. He really didn't do anything last year, but CJ Uzomah is a big tight end. He's like 6'6" or 6'7".
I like any tight end with Aaron. I think Conklin will have a solid year this year. I think I had taken him in one of my fantasy drafts just because like Aaron is a spread the ball out type of guy. Garrett's going to get his numbers, but and Randall Cobb's vet presence is probably nice in that locker room. So I have nothing against their receiving core or their quarterback, or their tight end, but like their O-line is.
Let's talk about it.
like, and I'm not saying that from like a we're better perspective because our line is still finding their way, but like that's the reason that Aaron Rodgers is gonna have to get the ball and get it out. So like, um, I just I don't see their O line being able to withstand for long periods of time, and I think our defense knows that.
Yeah, I think they do too. Now, Dwayne Brown, I mean, he's an aging tackle. Like he's an older guy. Laken Tomlinson really hasn't done anything since while he's been with the Jets. The other Connor McGovern at center. I do like Joe Tippmann. He's a rookie though. I really haven't seen much of him with the Jets. Elijah Vera Tucker, who's a really good right guard when he's playing, and Mekhi Becton showed some signs this summer in preseason. So
Am I seeing this correctly? If they only have one, or is Joe Tepper able to play center and guard?
Joe Tippmann can play center and guard.
Okay.
Yep. He's a versatile guy. And then God forbid if Mekhi Becton's hurt, Max Mitchell. That's not going to work. So that like you mentioned, that offensive line definitely needs some help, and I think that's the like Achilles heel of this team, or could be potentially.
That's the best part about Aaron, though, right? It's like
getting the ball out quick.
He's getting it out. But like if defenses know that and they're able to, like, I think that's the benefit. Our defensive backfield disguises better than every other defensive backfield in football because of, and this is not a bias hype, because of the way Jordan and Micah are able to disguise late into plays. Aaron has struggled against them in the past because he likes to get the ball and get it out. Well, if you're going to get the ball and get it out, it has to be all pre-snap read.
Right.
Everything that and Aaron's very good at it, but it's hard to pre-snap read something when you don't know what they're coming with until the play starts. So, I do think that our defensive backfield is set up for this type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jets are gonna have a good time playing against other teams.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like their line is not going to be a big problem against other teams.
Yeah, so you look at we talk about Aaron Rodgers. I think he has one of the quickest release times of any quarterback in the league, right? And he's gonna be 40 during the season. The man's not trying to take hits, but I think that's where Sean McDermott has to come into play, just because like those simulated pressures. The Bills didn't have any stunts. They didn't really blitz during the preseason at all. It was a very vanilla style of defense. Very below average statistically.
They showed a couple like offsetting D-line dropping. I'm not the biggest fan of that against the reason that I'm not the biggest fan of that against an Aaron Rodgers offense is because he's not trying to hold the ball. So any stunt that you run is going to take a little time to get there. And I just want to get there, get hands and face, and make him throw the ball to his pre-snap read and hope that we disguise well enough to where he's wrong. Like that's how I view it. Like any stunt type of thing, like it takes too long to get there, and he's going to be able to see where that's coming from.
What you're saying is true, but let me give you another angle to it though, because the Bills haven't done it in a while. They haven't done it. And the Packers played the Bills last year up in Buffalo and got beat. So Leslie Frazier really didn't disguise much pre-snap, right?
It's not Leslie. And when I say this, what I'll be saying, like, it's not Leslie. It's the fact that, like, no matter what we call as a defense, Jordan and Micah will line up in something else. They rarely ever, and sometimes they'll show deep into a play. They'll stay in cover 4 and drop into a cover 3 about 2 seconds into the play. Like, this is why when people sit here and have a conversation about who was wrong on a play on defense, you don't know.
You don't know because you don't know the scheme,
because you don't know what they were disguising for. That,
right.
Like, and disguises have hurt us in the run game sometimes because we'll be disguised if we feel like it's a pass play, we'll be disguised too late. And now our safeties are asked to come up and play A gap sometimes, play B gap sometimes. And so when they come up, they're a little late. And that hurts us a little bit in the run game sometimes as far as defensive run game, because we ask our safeties to do a lot and to disguise late. But it's not Leslie calling something to disguise. It's our DBs saying, okay, this is what we're running. Now we're going to line up in this. And Jordan and Micah really don't have to talk that much. This is when they have this conversation. Like, if we call this, I know what Micah's thinking as far as if he's going to, we only have to say a couple words. Like, they're the ones that choose what they're going to disguise into the play. Like I don't think it's ever been Leslie.
Right. And so to my point, last season when Michael was gone, they really couldn't do they couldn't do that stuff with DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
You know, and Poyer, God bless him, the man had he did everything he could last season, but it wasn't enough. He didn't have enough help. So my point all I'm saying is, as much as Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, right? They had their scheme and what they were trying to do defensively. It's almost as if it's new, just because the Bills didn't do it last year and they weren't healthy enough for us to really see what that defense is going to look like. So as much as we talk about Aaron Rodgers, getting rid of the ball so quickly, at least it's going to cause a half a second or less of extra time that he's going to have to process, just because of what they're going to try to do to confuse him a little bit.
Yeah. Early on, you'll see him, in my opinion, taking his chances on what he reads. But I think that as the game goes, he'll probably hang on a little longer. I still don't like the stunt type of defensive line movement. I just think that go out there and win your one. I'm a big proponent of if a guy is a guy that gets the ball and gets it out, a Tom Brady, a Aaron Rodgers. I've played D-line in college. Stunts are not going to work because stunts take too long to develop.
You know
what I mean? You got to just win your one. Whoever gets the one, you got to win it. And then if you get there in time, you get there in time, and then just cause mayhem with hands up. And you know what I mean? That's how I see it. And I'm not a defensive coordinator.
But you old school that way, though.
Playing D-line that way. Yeah. So if you're going to bring blitzes, then they got to be on time.
I want to see exotic fronts. I want to see. I want I want the offensive lineman to think. I want people to think. Now, it depends on the type of athletes that you have, what those one-on-one matchups look like in terms of how that stunt's going to work and so forth. I want confusion. I want chaos. Right. Those are the kind of defense that I love the most. Now, Jim Johnson was one of those guys. Right. That's where Sean McDermott cut his teeth. I think all I'm saying is, I think, it's one of those things, the fact that the Bills haven't done it in a while, in a long time, I think it's going to play their benefit on Monday night. There's also one more thing I wanted to bring up to you. It's on the other side of the ball. So, when we talk about matchups.
You want to bring the depth chart back up?
Sure, yeah, I'll bring it back up. And I'll keep talking as we go through this. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys, when we talk about matchups, the Jets linebackers, I think they're really good in run fits and stopping the run. Their linebackers they can chase, they can tackle, they're good. But when it comes to how are you going to handle Kincaid and Dawson Knox in 12, that's where it's going to get interesting. That's where it's going to get really interesting. So Jamie and Sherwood, CJ Mosley, we know is a dog. Right. We know that dude, he's good against the run, but against the pass, he's not as good as he is, right? That's not his strong suit. Jamie and Sherwood, the same thing. And then Quincy Williams, I mean, if there's a way to exploit this Jets defense, it has to be through the linebackers. You have to line up and put them in conflict. They know, and the Bills know that. I mean, I ain't saying nothing they don't already know, and I don't know their game plan. But if you don't look at those linebackers and go, if there's a way to break this up, to get them kind of playing honestly, we got to exploit those linebackers. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that they're gonna have to make a decision midway through the game on whether or not they're going to keep Michael Carter out to try to cover Kincaid, as far as if I say we come out in 12, but we're spreading them out in the first half with their regular 4-3, they're gonna have to make a decision if they want to pull that Taron Johnson type of linebacker slot, which Michael Carter, the third or second, I can't remember, is their guy that they'll bring in.
Ashton Davis is their guy,
right? So wait, Michael Carter's their slot corner. Am I not? If I'm not mistaken,
Ashton Davis is kind of their third. They played some 3 safety looks last season, and where they used Ashton Davis as that.
Okay.
But even though, I mean, the
problem is if they do that, That's the big problem with this 12 personnel is that if they do that, all right, we're going to tighten up. We're going to start out and spread. We're going to tighten up and we're going to run the ball. And we're going to see if CJ Mosley can come downhill. And to be fair to our running like offensive line, like we're going to have to scheme up to you know what I mean, to avoid CJ Mosley's as a linebacker and then just play one-on-ones with James Cook in this slot corner. So like it'll be a good test for our coaches. It'll be about midway through the game. I expect the first quarter to be as vanilla as possible for both of these teams because if you have to make the first adjustment, that's already a tough battle. You don't want to have to make the first adjustment as a coaching staff. You want to come out vanilla, and if you're winning, you want them to make the adjustment and you to change off of it. That's like how. And on both sides of the ball, that's how you want to do it. So, like, I expect Aaron Rodgers to get it out, get some slants, some screens, a lot of running game with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, and then you see what kind of adjustments are made. If our Bills defense can hold tough while our offense is figuring out the defense, it's gonna be a long day for the Jets.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So Matt here says the Jets have been good at limiting Allen's mobility. And let me speak to that for a second. So, I mean, yeah, we know Josh Allen's one of the best mobile quarterbacks in the league, right? Top 2, top 3. Who's comparing, whatever. But I think that's why they brought the weapons in that they did this year. So Josh doesn't have to do all that. Like Josh is going to be Josh, and he's going to scramble. He's going to make plays off script because that's what he does best. But I think the implementation of a short passing attack is going to be pivotal.
Early on, Deontay Hardy, Kincaid.
Yes.
They're going to be, but like late in the game, Gabe, you can only do that for so long.
Right.
That's the problem. You can only do it. Gabe is going to have a big 80-yard catch. And I said this about 3 weeks ago, the first game. Gabe is going to have like a 60, 70-yard touchdown catch because you can only win on the outside so long. Like, unless you're holding the entire game and not getting called, which, to be fair, like Sauce does that quite a bit. Like, unless you're doing that the entire game, you can only win on the outside for so long. And eventually, Gabe is going to beat
the floodgates will open.
Yeah. And so, like, Kincaid and Deontay Hardy is going to be pretty big early on in this game.
Yes.
And James Cook's running game.
Yeah. So, we talked about, we kind of mentioned earlier about how the Bills might come out in spread fronts, not saying empty, but like shotgun fronts with James Cook at the lone running back in the backfield. I think that's going to soften up, it's going to make them commit. If they're going to try to stop the run, that's a light box for James Cook. Now, keep in mind, he only had 89 carries. He averaged 5.7 yards a carry last season, but James Cook with an improved offensive line and light box, that's gonna put conflict on that defense already.
Early, I see them not having a light box. I see them playing their 4-3 early with and us coming out in 12 personnel, but spreading it out.
Right.
So like we could spread it out wide, but we're gonna have our 2 tight ends in, and then all it takes is Josh, check, boom. We have a linebacker on Kincaid. We have a linebacker on Dawson Knox, or a little guy on Dawson Knox. I'm gonna hit a nice quick out, boom. It's gonna be Josh playing that game with the linebackers / slot corners.
Yes, sir.
And then if they bring in their 4-2 and bring in an extra DB, we're gonna run the ball.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be a tough game for both defensive coordinators, but I see our veteranship getting the best of their offense.
And here's a clue. Against the Indianapolis Colts in the preseason, the Bills came out in 12. They came out in 12 for a reason. They're sending a message. Like everybody. Well, I hope people know. Like the Bills are very committed to 12 personnel. They ran the least amount of 12 last year of any offense in the league. I think if we're gonna chart where that's going to be this year, I would say they're going to be in the top 10 to top 15 in terms of how much they use 12. I think it's going to be a very big part. Of their look and their identity. I think the Bills lacked an identity on offense for a couple years outside of Josh Allen. Now, what I'm saying is, out of 12, if the quick screen game to Deontay Hardy, like we talked about, that's gonna prove to be huge. And if you want, let's just play and live in a world where you take, let's say Diggs isn't on the field, right? And you have Trent Sherfield and Deontay Hardy and those guys, like, you're going to open up so much. Like, you're going to have to commit to stop something. And it's great that we're seeing the Jets week 1. It's just phenomenal. I love every just talking about this right now gets me just all kind of pumped up for what the Bills are going to unveil on these guys.
To Matt's point about, and you said this earlier about limiting Josh as far as it's because CJ Mosley is very athletic and he has a quick trigger. So like he's a lot of the times he's been spying Josh yearly, and he's not going to let Josh just kind of like roll out, stop, miss him. Like it doesn't happen very often. As good as Josh is at evading tackles, like CJ Mosley's a great linebacker. So I do see, though, Josh getting out of the pocket a lot and making CJ Mosley move, these wild throws that he has across his body, like these long developing, that's going to happen throughout every game that we play. Long developing broken plays, like that's just the way Josh plays, like that happens. But early on, you can get some power, some running back powers, like, or some quarterback power, excuse me, and Josh can run the ball. Like I think that him running the ball has to be part of his, in my opinion. You don't want him to run so much, but him running the ball has to be part of the game. Like you have to have that threat there, because that's a big part of Josh's game. He now runs the ball. You have to bring some guys in the box. Boom, to open up these deep balls that they begin, and that the ones that Gabe and Diggs are going to get late in the game. Like you have to be able to run the ball consistently, and I think we'll be able to do that with Cooks and Josh at the same time.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about having a quarterback like Josh Allen, because you can attack a defense in so many different ways. And now I feel like the offense is complete in terms of weaponry, right? The Bills, I mean, they can go out next offseason, they can go get another wide receiver or however they want to do it. But for right now, this season, they're loaded with talent. And I think, one of the things that, and we talk crap about them. I mean, we just because we're kidding, and also we were hurt from the Bengals game. But, Ken Dorsey coming in season 2 as a coordinator, I think that's one of those things where,
you talk crap about him.
Okay, sure. I thought we were a team. I thought you was my dog. You know
I said he gets dog. one year of getting with them, and then he gets another year to
throw me under
you
the
guys
bus.
Said, bro.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. Yeah, I said, man, hey, I was mad at him. I was mad
too,
at Ken Dorsey.
1 year, you get.
I don't care.
Get a year.
Shoot, I don't care. You over there, see. You be over there, well, you just want to be the good guy. I just say it, bro. But we get good cop, bad cop. We could do that right now. I'll be bad cop. So back to Ken Dorsey, I was pissed off at him in the offseason because I was still mad about the Bengals game. I was mad about the offense in their lulls. Now, that wasn't all Ken Dorsey, right?
I was also mad. We had a first and short, and we threw a deep ball 4 straight plays or 3 straight plays and then punted. So, like, yeah, he has this gunslinger mentality because he used to play quarterback, and that's probably why Josh liked him so much. Like Josh is a gunslinger, so that's why Josh wanted him as the OC, because he lets Josh let loose downfield, whereas Dable kind of reeled Josh back.
Right.
Dorsey has to reel Josh or reel the offense back more so. Like that's part of being the OC. You can't just be a gunslinger OC when you have a gunslinger coach. Like you got to be able to reel him back. So I think that he's learned from that. Hopefully, I think that he's feeling a little bit more responsibility on the offense now that McDermott's the defense coordinator, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, we're gonna see what happens, and I hope that they can get Josh in more of a rhythm, giving him easy access throws. I think that's going to be huge. You'd want Josh's completion percentage. I mean, it's not the tail end of the book, right? But I would love for it to be 68%. Somewhere around there, 69% would be great. I mean, that's kind of pushing it, but I just think the degree of difficulty that Josh was throwing these balls last year, I don't think it's talked about enough in terms of outside Bills Mafia, Bills media. Josh had a lot of big boy throws, and they were counting on him on that arm and those high variance throws a lot of the season, especially after the injury. Like some people in our chat mentioned that he really couldn't throw the ball short. He had to change his mechanics when he was throwing short. So it kind of took one aspect of his game away in terms of the passing game.
That's Dorsey, right? So like that's like where he's had to learn. So like
right.
To be able to open up a lot of these routes that the concepts that they like, where they can use Josh's arm, you have to be able to bring up the safety. So Kincaid coming in is going to open up a lot just based off of him being there. He's going to be able to catch a lot of short stuff, maybe get a couple extra yards. Deontay Hardy, some screen routes. I don't think that they're going to have to rely so much on the deep ball,
Right.
but that deep ball is going to be a big piece because you have to utilize Josh's arm. So I don't want to go away from the deep ball. I just want to minimize the need for it.
Right. It can't be your knockout punch all the time,
Yeah.
right? You should be able to rely on your short to intermediate passing game. You should be able to throw a screen pass and gain 5 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's 3rd and 7, we don't need, the heroics from Stephon Diggs all the time or Josh Allen scrambling. Like I need Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox being the forgotten man in this offense. That's what it feels like.
That's a big part, right? So
right.
With like getting to 3rd and 3 should be a win, or 3rd and 2 should be a win. Like you should be able to convert those. And so like Damian Harris is going to be a big part of these 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1s, like being able to get. And that's why I like the pickup of Damian Harris, whereas Cook. So like you don't have to run a quarterback power to get these short yardage, because we had 2 5'5" running backs last year that if they're asking them to run up the middle and they get hit, like they're going to fall.
Right.
So like. And then you had to use Josh as the short. Now Damian Harris is going to get you 2, like he's going to get you 2. And so if we're in the 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you don't have the quarterback sneak, or 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, there's that threat of a run. Like now you can hit a deep ball, and you don't have to be worried about if you're going to get the first down on 3rd. Like a lot of it opens up by being able to get these short yardage areas and to win in short yardage areas, and that we didn't have last year.
Yeah, and we didn't mention him, but Latavius Murray is going to be huge for that. He'll
be good as well.
He's another big guy, oldest back in the league, but that dude can still play.
He's 6'3",
6'3". I think he's 6'3", 6'4".
Fall forward and get a couple yards.
Big dude. I mean, just think about it. Josh Allen 6'4", 6'5". Latavius Murray is a freaking physical specimen of a dude. Like these guys, man, if I think that was one thing. Like, I think the Bills kind of realized, like, okay, Sean McDermott of all people should know this, and Brandon Beane, like, you saw what happened with Cam Newton, and Bills fans don't think it could ever happen to us, but it can. And you trot Josh Allen out there getting hit all the time, it's going to shorten his career. So we need to have something that's going to supplement having to use Josh Allen to get us over the hump.
I don't like that comparison.
But it's true though. It's true.
Because Cam Newton's career was shortened because his legs left and his arm was never that great.
Why though? Why? Because he got hit all the time.
Because his arm was never that great. his arm was solid, but what made
I'm not
him
talking about the
dangerous
passer. I'm not talking about being
Josh can get hurt as far as legs wise and sit in the pocket and throw. His arm's that strong. His arm's gonna be that strong.
It is, but
that comparison.
Your availability. My point of that is your availability is hindered because he's at risk of getting injured if he continues at this pace. He's gonna have to dial it back a little bit. He can't take hits like he does.
I'm not a big Cam Newton and Josh Allen comparison, but
dude.
Okay.
I mean, you might not like it
because he's going to go from Cam Newton with an arm, and then once he loses his legs, he's going to be Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm not saying. No. I'm not saying. I'm not comparing them in terms of full skill set. I'm just saying if you run your quarterback into the ground that way, I think the more hits you take, Father Time. Look, man. It's gonna come up. It's gonna bite you. You got it.
Specimens nowadays. Father Time doesn't really eat at you.
Oh, here we go. So I don't know what kind of well your people drink from.
Look, people talking about Father Time with Jordan. He's about to have the best year he's ever had.
Okay, I mean, knock on wood. Yeah, like
not knock on wood. He's gonna have the best year for sure.
Okay, here we go. It's real. Aaron Rodgers 40.
You see Triggs? It wasn't really the hits.
Oh God, that is a hit. A car accident is a hit.
Yeah, that ain't the hits on the football field. Though. What do you mean?
That's a hit. And guess what? It didn't help that the boy was
on
the field getting knocked out.
He sure got up and flexed and did the Superman thing. Like, you better relax.
Hey, well, did you hear? Cam Newton was dropped as a small child. Like
that does not have anything to do
exactly.
with this. But that car accident does have absolutely something to do with it. What do you mean?
No, but listen, man, we're gonna have to give our predictions, okay? Because this is the last time that
you want to do all the games. Or
No.
how much time we got?
We're gonna do the Bills and the Jets prediction before we go.
Just that one? We got 6
we got
minutes.
6 minutes, and I gotta. We got another. You know what?
We'll
Let's
just
just
go
do the
fast, all
IPA
the
read real
games.
quick. Hold up. You pull up the picks. I'll play this.
Bills Mafia is back. Are you ready for it? The 3rd annual Buffalo Rumblings IPA beer release party is going down September 16th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Resurgence Brewing Company located downtown at 55 Chicago Street. I'm going to tell you what, you do not want to miss this event. Come out and hang with Joe, Sarah, and the rest of the Buffalo Rumblings crew for the Megapod. You're going to want to bring your questions and be a part of the live stream. Get involved. It's going to be live. And this year, we're also going to have our friends from Fans of Buffalo joining the party and sponsoring the fun. They're going to be in the house to provide you with all the information you need to make your away game day experience the easiest and the most smooth that you've ever had in your life. I can promise you, they do their job very well. So make sure you make it out Saturday, September 16th, 6 p.m., Resurgence Brewing Company, 55 Chicago Street. Go Bills.
All right, so Resurgence, be there. I'll be there. You'll be there. Come hang out. Come talk. We're gonna be chopping it up. I'm gonna be giving him all kinds of hell. So
I'm gonna have a screenshot of my score in Madden after we get off this. Put that up there.
Please, child, please. You got them,
Freddie. I got the 3rd highest predicted score. Don't talk about my fantasy time. I'm about to smoke this week.
Child, please.
Anyways, let's go through fast. We'll give the scores and then we'll just talk about the Bills game on the NFL scores. That's crazy. I have the 3rd highest predictive score. That's not even
insult to injury. Buffalo Freddy. That's my guy. Thank you for the love on that.
Lions Chiefs. Who you got?
I'm gonna go the Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Lions, and I'm gonna go.
But 30, Lions are gonna cover the spread.
30-26 Lions. That's my take.
Okay. All right.
Bengals Browns.
Bengals.
I got the Bengals in that one too. Texans Ravens.
Ravens. Cover the spread.
I'm gonna go with the Texans, and I'm just gonna go the hype around this new draft pick, CJ Stroud. He'll have a good game. So
his first game.
Yeah.
You bold. I don't know what kind of drugs you doing, but you bold. Go ahead.
Buccaneers Vikings.
Vikes. Close
like
though.
That. Yeah. Panthers Falcons.
Falcons. Bijan.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well. That's a bad game. I don't want to watch that, but
I ain't watching either.
Cardinals, Commanders.
Commanders. I'm not picking the Cardinals one time this year.
I think Kyler will end up coming back, but I'll take the Commanders.
Coming back.
He'll come back for sure. Jaguars, Colts.
Jags. They're gonna win the AFC South.
I'm gonna say that the Colts win this game, like 13-10.
Dang, that's boring.
The Jags will win the AFC South. I just think they have a bad game.
You just think they're gonna come out flat. Okay.
Yeah. 49ers, Steelers. It's a big game.
49ers.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Of course you are.
What do you mean? I don't even like the Steelers. I actually hate the Steelers, but I like what they've got going on over there. I think TJ Watt has a huge game, and but I like what they got going on over there on that squad. But
of all the upsets that you're picking, one of them's gonna hit because it's the NFL and it's opening week.
I've only picked 3.
That's a lot, dude.
I only picked 3.
You got 2 rookie quarterbacks winning their opening game. That's tough.
Yeah, but
that's tough.
But the Colts are going to win because of defense, not because of. So. Titans
Saints. I like Derek Carr.
Yeah, I'll take the Saints. Raiders Broncos.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
You're a Denver guy for sure.
I mean, I live in Denver. F the Raiders.
I'll go with the Broncos just because
I
don't really know who the Raiders quarterback is.
They're suffering. Right now, so. Okay, they are a suffering franchise.
Eagles Patriots.
Oh, Eagles all the way. I hate the Patriots.
I'll take the Eagles. I think it'll be close though. I think it'll be.
I hope not.
Rams
Seahawks. The Rams are a bowl of hot mess right now.
Yeah. Dolphins Chargers.
Oh, Chargers. I hate the Dolphins. Chargers.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins 30-27
because you live down there in off season, whatever, dude.
It has nothing to do with that.
You don't want to piss them off.
I'm just not a big Herbert guy. I've never been a big Herbert. Pac-12 quarterbacks up until now, not anymore, but up until now, just don't impress me.
You don't want them to pollute your salmon that you're going to eat down there.
Packers Bears.
I'm gonna take the Bears on this one.
I'm going to take the Packers, and they blow them the hell out. I'm not a big Justin Fields. Justin Fields can go to hell. So, Cowboys,
Okay.
Giants.
Cowboys. I can't stand the Cowboys.
I'll go Cowboys as well. I think that hype around that game is huge. So, and then score for Bills and Jets.
I'm gonna go Bills 34, Jets 24.
I'm gonna go 31-21. The score gets away from the Jets at the end of the game. So
I think that's fair.
31-21 will be mine.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So that'll be our picks for this week, and we'll do the same thing next week. It'll be a nice little segment.
Yeah, man. Well, this was great. This was a great show. I'm looking forward to next week. I know you and I are going to be chatting it up as things go along, but you're going to be at the game. I'll be at home, and then I'll join you guys.
Next week. Yeah, next week I got to figure out if I'm going to stay up there and do the show up there or come back on Monday.
Yeah, whatever you decide, let me know. And if you're not here, I got you. So it's all good. That's what a team does, baby. But you have been listening to the Chop Up on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast feed. Just want to let you guys know that we appreciate you. And guess what? We are up out of here. Peace.
I need it up front. Can't tell me, cause I do what I want.